Okay guys, February the 5th, about 5 to 8 in the evening. So guys, I wanted to come online tonight and do a video called Rally Sport or Split Bumper. And if you're just now joining this channel for the very first time to see what this video is all about, obviously we're talking about the 1970 to 73 Camaros. We're in knee deep into a restoration here on a 72. It's called Project Overkill. And at the end of this video, there'll be a clickable link that will take you to a playlist that will have all of the videos on this car in chronological order. So I encourage you to subscribe and follow along and participate in the build as we build this car on YouTube. So getting back to the video, Rally Sport or Split Bumper. So split bumper is kind of a slang term that's kind of attached itself to these cars. Obviously when we're talking about split bumpers, we're talking about the small bumperettes that go on the front of these cars. A lot of the Rally Sport, the die-hard Rally Sport guys won't even use that term split bumper, and they don't like it. And we'll get into a little bit more about that a little bit later in the video. But I actually use the term, and the reason I do is because most people, when you say split bumper Camaro, they know exactly what era you're talking about. They know you're talking to 70 to 73s. I kind of like to call them the round taillight edition myself, because to this date, it's the only round taillight Camaros ever made that I'm aware of. So there's actually a lot more to it than just the actual bumperettes that's on a Rally Sport Camaro, or the split bumpers if you prefer to use that term. And that's the purpose of this video. I kind of wanted to go over the two differences between the Rally Sport front end and the standard front end on these cars. And I also wanted to go over some of the options that was available if you had the Rally Sport package. So let's take a look here at Project Overkill, and I want to just point out some very distinct differences. So as many of you know, following this build, you can see right here, I've got the small bumpers there laying on the floor. And I've actually got them off the car. I'm still in the process of working on the bumper brackets to get them mounted to the car. And that'll be the next video that will be coming out on Project Overkill. So right here, looking at this upper header, one thing I want you to notice right up front here is right beside of the headlight, you've got the park light or turn signals, whatever you want to call them. And that is key on a Rally Sport front end. You'll notice that it's right beside of the headlight. The next thing I want you to notice is this grille opening. It's pretty much a flat edge here, and it continues even down on the lower valance panel. And speaking of the lower valance, you'll notice it's all solid right through here. There's nothing down in this area. It's all one solid piece of metal. And this is the Rally Sport upper header, Rally Sport lower valance panel. Now this is as far as we've got with the mock-up on this car. So we're going to go over here to the workbench, and I've got a picture of a Rally Sport that's all put together, and I want to show you that. So here's what a completed Rally Sport front end would look like. You've got, as you can see, the Rally Sport turn signals in the upper header, just like we were looking at on my car. And then you can also see the lower valance panel, how there's nothing in this area. But this is the key to the Rally Sport front end right here, is this RS urethane nose, and it goes right against the upper header and lower valance, and it's mounted to that flange area that I was showing you. Now you'll also notice a chrome grille surround that houses two different grills separated by a vertical divider bar with a cushion on it. And you'll also notice an opening right here. That is where the hood release comes through on a Rally Sport. So that's a Rally Sport front end. This particular car actually just happens to be a Super Sport. Some of the other options that a Rally Sport has, number one, they had the Hideaway Wiper Arm. That means when the wipers were turned off, the park position was actually below the hood, so you could not see the wiper arms. They also had the body color insert in the door handles. And they also had the bright exterior trim that come through here, and it's also on the tail lights themselves, and I'll show you that. Right here is just one of the tail lights for overkill. You'll see this chrome ring, this extra one. That's part of the chrome trim package that went with the Rally Sports. So that's pretty much it for the Rally Sport option. And of course the Rally Sport did have its own set of badges. However, if the car was also equipped with either the Z27, which was your Super Sport package, or the Z28 package, then the Rally Sport emblems were deleted, and it either got the SS emblems or the Z28 emblems. So you could have a SS RS, or you could have a Z28 RS. Okay guys, so here is a perfectly fine example of a 1972 Z28 with the standard front end. This particular car belongs to a fella named Chuck, if he still owns it. I had the privilege of meeting him at Camaro's at Carlisle back in the early 2000s. I think it was probably 2004, 2005. And what's unique about this car, the reason I have a picture of it that hangs on my garage wall, it's actually the twin to my car. We got to talking and got to looking at his car. It's the same color scheme as mine, same interior. I mean, everything's the same, even the same build week. His is a 12B car, that's the same as mine. The only difference is mine has the Rally Sport front end and his has the standard front end. So let's go over a few things about the standard front end. Pretty much they're really similar. The only difference is, like I said, the header panel and the lower valance. If you'll notice here at the header panel, there is no park lights or signal lights, and it's all smooth in this area. Also, there is no flange here. This is more of a rounded finished edge, and this grille actually sets flush with the header. Same thing with the lower valance, it sets flush with it. And also you'll see the park lights, we call these banana lights. They're actually under the headlights on the standard front end. Also the standard front end has the full bumper that wraps from one fender all the way to the other. The hood latch is different for this car. It would actually come out somewhere around down in this area, if memory serves me right. So that's what a standard front end looks like on these cars versus the Rally Sport. Now guys, if you really want to get confused, we'll come over here and look at this picture of Dale Earnhardt Jr. 72 Camaro, and this actually was built by Detroit Speed and Engineering. And if we look at the front end on that car, now that's confusing. You see it's got the Rally Sport park lights up at the top. It's also got the standard front end park lights down at the bottom, and it's got the standard grille, and it's got the two bumperettes on it. So guys, that's just customization for you there. That's what you can do with a welder. You can make just about anything you want like that, and that's pretty cool too, but that'll confuse you as well. So guys, that's two visuals of the Rally Sport and the standard front end. Now, the reason I want to make this video is it gets confusing, because what you'll see, there'll be people that take a standard front end and they'll take that full bumper off. And actually, the two small bumperettes will actually bolt right up to these cars. A lot of people like that look, and I think it looks cool myself. I tend to more sway with the full bumpers being full bumper cars and the rally sports being with the split bumpers. That's just kind of the way that I am. But a lot of people, they'll put the split bumpers on a standard front end Camaro and they like that look. And like I said, if that's what they want to do, I don't have a problem with it at all. I really don't. But here's where I do have a problem with it. I was on Craigslist last night and I was looking around and there was several cars on there being sold as split bumpers. And when you plainly looked at it, it was basically standard Camaros with the two bumperettes. That's what it was. But they were saying they were split bumpers. And I think that's why a lot of the true rally sport guys do not like that term split bumper. I believe that is the biggest reason. That's kind of the reason why I made this video, is just for the guys that didn't know the difference between the rally sport and the standard front end, and just automatically seeing those two half bumpers and thinking that's a split bumper Camaro, because there is a little bit more to it than just being the split bumpers on the front of the car. So guys, that's pretty much all I got to say about rally sport or split bumpers. There's probably a couple options here for the rally sport that I kind of left off. I don't claim to be an expert on these cars. There's a lot of guys over on the Camaro site, Nasty Z, that know a lot more about the number stuff than I do. But I just wanted to make just a quick video and give you guys a reference of standard versus rally sport. Out here working on the Camaro. When I have a little bit more progress, I'll be back online. Want to thank all my subscribers and everybody following the field.